SI UK and SI Global, we're rebranding to be Study In because we listen to our students, we listen to our universities, and we've got a proud history of 19 years of sending tens of thousands of students abroad to study, many from here in Nepal. And we've got a very proud history here in Nepal and Kathmandu as well. We have 6 offices across the country. And for the last 6-7 years, we've been sending hundreds and thousands of students to study abroad. We've evolved our brand to make sure that we can still relate and we wrap up our offering in an effective way to students. We're multi-destination, so we offer more than just the UK. We offer Australia, Canada and the US. And through lots of testing, we spoke to Nepali students and parents as well. We know that having a brand like Study In really helps better represent who we are for the next 5-10 years and beyond.
Jupiter Media presents Avasar, telecasting global opportunities.
Hello and namaste. Welcome to Avasar program. This program is all about education, educational news, views and your career. I'm your regular host Sunil Acharya and so is the News 24 television. So today we are going to talk about the marketing strategy on abroad study. Tim Edward is the Chief Marketing Officer of SI Global. So let's welcome him to the show. Tim, you are welcome on our show.
Sure. So I'm Tim Edwards. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Study In. I'm in Kathmandu this weekend and for a few days. It's not my first visit to Nepal. I've been here many times, meeting lots of fantastic students who want to excel on the world stage.
Okay, Tim. With nearly 2 decades of experience in global higher education marketing, how have you seen the landscape of evolve and the key lesson have you learned along the way?
So the higher education market is a shifting landscape and has been for the 20 years I've been active within it. So during my career, I've represented UK, Australian, American, Canadian universities. And what we see is frequent geopolitical shifts. And that sometimes inflects student demand. So it may be that for a season the UK is extremely popular, and the UK tends to be very popular here in Nepal. It may also be that Australia is popular. What we see is a consistent demand from Nepalese students for a high quality education studying abroad.
As the Chief Marketing Officer at SI Global, what are your key priorities and how do you envision the SI UK shaping and the future of higher education in marketing?
So Study In is here to provide access. It's here to provide access to students in Nepal to the world's best universities. Study In represents over 250 universities in the UK, Australia, Canada, the US, New Zealand, Dubai and Ireland. And it's a platform for students to see what they want to do, where they want to study, what best suits what they want to achieve with their careers. Students approach this in a really exciting way, but it can seem really complex and daunting. So the role of Study In is to really simplify the complex and be their critical friend at every step of the way, letting them lead with their choices and us to guide them. Think of Study In as that critical friend that's in the room with you, helping you make the right decisions for you.
You have emphasized the importance of storytelling in engaging the Gen Z student. What strategies do you find most effective in the connecting with the digital savvy and often the spectacle generation?
So the interesting thing about Gen Z or Gen Z is the way in which they digest their information is very different to my generation, for example. So storytelling, yes, is very important. You've got to make sure you have a compelling narrative. You've got to move beyond the hygiene factors, the facts and the figures. There's the why question which you want to answer, and we're here to help with that. Beyond that, it's about telling an authentic story. I think Gen Z really see through staged images, stock photos, and Gen Z are really well traveled. They're exposed. They know what the UK is like, even if it's just through TikTok. They have an impression, they have an idea as to what it is. So I can't and I wouldn't paint a false image of perfect sunny skies and happy students. I think telling an authentic story about what a student can experience when they go there really helps the student relate to us. And that encourages trust. Students want to trust the person that's advising them, and we take that very seriously.
Tim, talking about the challenges in higher education marketing, what are some of the biggest challenges in marketing higher education today? And how can institutions overcome them to attack and retain students?
So I think the way I would describe the marketplace for international students in universities, it's noisy, it's crowded, it's complex, especially when you throw in multi-destinations and new emerging destinations as well. I think marketing has changed quite a lot, and now it's all about cut-through. It's all about how you can get your unique message across. And so the sort of messages that may have been interesting 10 years ago from a university may lack the cut-through today in 2025 for Gen Z students in Nepal. It needs to be a message that's interesting, one that cuts through, one that grabs their attention, gives them a reason.
You have very good ideas in education branding too. You describe yourself as a T-shaped marketer with a passion for the creativity and content. Can you share an example of an innovative campaign that made a significant impact in student recruitment?
So the way in which students and Gen Z sort of digest collateral campaigns and things like that is changing rapidly and has been over the last 5 years, and particularly since the COVID pandemic. Social media paints an almost perfect sort of picture of the world. There's a trend towards showing a more authentic version of things. And I think as a marketer, it's important to have cohesive campaigns that are multifaceted and omni-channel. So for example, not just having a big billboard that says, we're the best university. You've got to have the social campaign, a paid campaign, an email campaign, a WhatsApp campaign, and a billboard that all reinforces that same message. And what we find is that for students, it's not a singular thing that causes them to take an action. It's the multitude and the compound effect of all of those different channels on a student. So they create an image and have an image in their head as to what they can expect when they come in. And here at Study In, we work very hard to make sure that we create that right omni-channel campaign for our universities so students have an idea what to expect when they come to talk to one of our expert counsellors.
With the rise of the AI digital platform and evolving students' experience, what do you think the future of higher education marketing looks in the next 5 years?
So the rise of AI is, it's a challenge and an opportunity. It's a double-edged sword. And I think how you responsibly manage that and use it to your advantage can make the real difference. So there's absolutely a role for AI. It can help you finish tasks quicker. It can help organize your thoughts. What we found in marketing is that AI can help us in targeting and segmenting and things like that. It can provide the framework for an idea. But what students tell us and what we see have a real impact is that human-to-human story. There is no replacing an eyeball-to-eyeball conversation between an aspirant student, mum and dad, all their dreams, all their savings put up in what the student might want to do. And I think for that, it makes sense for them to meet with a human expert counsellor that can help them. And AI has a wonderful role to play in other parts of that journey, but there's no replacing an expert here at Study In that's going to help them with their study decisions.
Talking about the Nepal's role in global education market, Nepal has a growing number of students aspiring to study abroad. What advice would you give to the Nepali students and their parents, those who are looking global opportunities?
So Nepali students have a wonderful legacy of making a great impact wherever they go to study abroad, be that in Australia, be that in the UK. I've personally spoken to and counselled Nepali students as long ago as 20 years to come and study in the UK, and I see the great impact they have on our economy and also the Nepalese economy when they come back home as well. I think the advice I would give them is to be brave, be adventurous, don't rule anything out when you're first exploring what interests you. Be career focused, because I think that is important. What you want to do for the rest of your life can depend on the choices you make now as to where you want to study. But I would also encourage you to go, you don't normally close any doors by where you want to study. So keep adventurous. And I think when you get on campus, when you meet friends, when you meet lecturers, you'll find yourself being inspired by the environment, the experts teaching you, your friends, and that will help you make the right decisions you want for the rest of your life. And universities are really unlike anything else. You will buy a house, maybe you'll buy 2 houses, maybe you'll buy a car, maybe you'll sell that, buy a new car. When you decide to study abroad, you are choosing to wed yourself to a brand probably for the rest of your life. So the university where I went to study is very much a part of my identity. I'm very proud of my alma mater and how their brand reputation affects me now, 25 years on.
Tim, thank you so much for your valuable time and thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Avasar, telecasting global opportunities.